and that is Bayern Munich taking on Bayer Leverkusen. Here's a look at some of the matchup notes. This will be the 7th meeting, but the Cubs in first and second place right now. Bayern Munich sitting on top of the table. Bayern are unbeaten in their last 16 Bundesliga matches. They are absolutely flying, while Leverkusen are unbeaten in their last 3 against Bayern. All right, so right now, as I mentioned, Bayern are flying. They cannot stop scoring goals at will. But Leverkusen are also scoring goals, but giving up a lot of goals as well, and still kind of finding ways to win late in the match. This one, it feels so intriguing at this point in the season. Lahoud, how excited are you for this iteration of this matchup?
I think this is just what the Bundesliga has been about in the last 12 months, is the two heavyweights of the league. And Nico and you and I were talking about the competitiveness of Germany and the lack thereof for the last decade. Now we have a 1-2 punch, and you have strikers that are going to go at it. You have midfielders, two of the most complete sides in Germany. But in the end, the fact that it's a home match for Bayern against Leverkusen, I want to go back to what happened last year, where this was a defining moment, for one of many for Leverkusen, that they could go toe-to-toe with Bayern, not losing this match, coming back and drawing at the Allianz Arena. So the tone is set, and I think for Vincent Kompany, I'm interested to see how he copes with the pressure, because the jury is still out in terms of big match experience. He doesn't have it yet in the Bundesliga.
Leverkusen has scored 15 goals in the last 5 matches. That seems like a lot until you hear that Bayern has scored 25.
Yeah.
But
25
Leverkusen
goals.
have also given up 9 in their last 4.
They look a little bit, not leaky. Leaky is a bad word because
we're
does seem
holding
like
them
they're
to the
suffering,
standard of
right?
last season.
There's a big problem defensively. They managed to figure it out, but they are a little bit more exposed. The teams have managed to break past the center backs. Obviously, you lose Kusunu, but you pick up you have Hincapié that slots in there, and it's still a strong back line. I wonder if, I think they will be up to the task, of course, by Leverkusen. On Bayern's end, I don't want to get too excited from there. How many goals?
25 in the last 5 matches.
In the last 5.
We're talking about Bayern Munich.
Yes, Bayern. Yeah.
That is...
It's ridiculous. Like, it's ridiculous. It's those type of numbers.
Yeah.
Like,
did Southampton or did Sheffield even score 25 goals last season?
Right. It's something that you say, all right, when we talk about those EFL Cup games, where it's like, all right, they're playing an EFL team, they scored 7.
Yeah.
They scored 9 in the Champions League. Like, they're putting up these numbers, 6 against Holstein Kiel. Like, all right, maybe we got to consider it beyond, like, just a fluke, like it's a one-up. No, they're prolific. It's giving that Bayern from the Pep era, from the Jupp Heynckes era, that would put up a lot of numbers, and it's like because they're just so far superior than everybody else. But this is going to be a little bit more of a litmus test for where companies are, just like a reality check, because it's not going to be easy.
There's a lot of, the narrative is crazy. You know, the manager that said no to Bayern Munich and Xabi Alonso, that decided to stay at Bayer Leverkusen. Vincent Kompany, the guy who got relegated, but is going back to, going to a situation where he can be like more of a Pep coach versus what he had to deal with over in Premier League. Was he the right choice? Was he the 5th choice? You know, which option was he? There's so many narratives. And also, if you're Bayern Munich, you're like, who is this team that completely upset the apple cart? You had it good if you're Bayern Munich. You won 11 years in a row. You were banging on all cylinders. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, this team goes completely invincible in your league. All of a sudden, takes a lot of the focus away from you. If you're Bayern Munich, this is a way for you to readjust that narrative.
I want to see what sort of Bayern shows up. And of either team, there's more pressure on Bayern Munich. It's at your place.
Always.
You got your butts kicked. You got humiliated last season in the second match in the Bundesliga. So
what was the score? Of the second match?
3-0.
Oh, right.
They got humiliated.
Yeah.
Leverkusen put 3 on them, and it was that nail in the coffin at their place to say, no, this is not just our year. We are vastly superior to you.
Yeah.
We are a complete side. Keyword team in that sentence. And now I want to see how Munich responds. And when you look at how the team's going to line up, a big worry for me for Bayern Munich is at that right back position. Sacha Boey out injured. So who's going to fill in the gaps? I think Rafael Guerrero is a good option to fill in there.
Konrad Laimer.
The jury's still out on the 2 center backs, and Dayot Upamecano and Kim Min-jae. Bayern Munich, if they're going to win anything this season, especially the Bundesliga, those two have to be exponentially better than they have been in the last 12 months. They've been very poor.
They have to be the center backs they bought.
Yeah.
They have to be the center backs they bought, absolutely. Because Upamecano, in precise moments, not overall. Overall, he's going to be good, but in critical moments, a bit rash, poor decision-making. Kim, early on against Wolfsburg, in a game that got very complicated for them, just kind of falling asleep on the ball, giving the ball away. Especially in this game, you need to be on point. And show me that this Bayern is ready to compete on all fronts, right? Because you can't toss away Champions League now. You got to give it 100% Champions League, 100% in Bundesliga. But my question is, if Bayern were to lose in the round of 16 in the Champions League, but they win Bundesliga, that's success. I would think so. Not the ultimate success that you kind of have come to expect in the last decade or so from Bayern.
It is a readjustment, though, to how they used to be, right?
Yeah,
It's
their expectations have kind of changed slightly after last season.
Why I'm selling Bayern short is not only because they lost the Bundesliga, but company as well.
Okay, so here, we're talking about matchups on the field, but the managerial matchup in this one is super enticing because there's so many comparisons you could make between Vincent Kompany and Xabi Alonso. Obviously, the Pep Guardiola connection is there and very strong. And what we saw Xabi Alonso do last season, I mean, how high is his stock after what he did?
Incredibly high.
I mean, it's ridiculous. Vincent Kompany has this Bayern team rolling right now, certainly offensively. Is there a chance that this could be, Vincent Kompany could be this season's Xabi Alonso?
I think this is the sort of match that gives him credibility because in the German media, there's still a lot of doubt around him. And what you just said about, okay, you're hammering teams around the world, but look at the quality of sides that you've played so far to get to this point. And he's had to actually defend himself and say, hey, look, I'm fortunate to be here. My dad was an immigrant who came to Europe. And so just to be in this situation, I just hope to be an ambassador for people who look like me, that have my story, which I think he's handled it very, very well.
No, it's very
Now I want to see how he handles the pressure on the pitch because this is going to be that psychological battle for Bayern Munich. We saw it against Dinamo Zagreb where they have the firepower, but they still have that ability to switch off. And they ended up winning 9-2, so the rest is history with that.
And
that ability
Wolfsburg
to switch
also,
off does worry me.
There were moments at Wolfsburg they switched off, but they managed to see it out. Maybe their quality gets them over the line. And I didn't think that the quality discrepancy between Bayern and Dinamo Zagreb was a 9-2. Holstein Kiel, which honestly I didn't know too much about since they got promoted.
We assumed they would get beat, but not by that much.
6-0.
Yeah.
So, again, this is not only a test to see where Bayern really is at against other elite teams. They've got Barcelona soon in the Champions League. But you're absolutely right with the credibility of Vincent Kompany with Bayern Munich. But I'll put it this way. Xabi Alonso today can get any job in the world.
Yep.
Any job in the world. And if he can say, I'm free, take me on, probably Barcelona would be the only one that wouldn't take him, but just out of principle, they wouldn't take him. But if they could, they would take him. I'm not so sure we could say the same thing about Kompany.
You can't. But what happens if Leverkusen doesn't have a great season this year? His stock goes down a little bit.
A little bit.
A little
bit.
Minute.
Any club will still take him, I think.
When Xabi Alonso took over at Leverkusen, I mean, he was completely unproven as a manager.
And people forget,
within basically
didn't
one
manage.
season,
He didn't manage anything.
This is his first professional club.
So the company is almost starting at a higher starting point than
He was a
Xabi
player
Alonso
coach.
was.
He was a player coach at Anderlecht.
Yeah.
He started out his management career before he even finished his playing career.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, he walked in with a little bit of a higher,
He has a
longer CV.
huge opportunity, though. Huge opportunity this season at Bayern.
Yeah.
I don't know. Signs are looking good.
I think
it's so
a bit
intriguing.
Like, imagine if Pep. This is the whole conundrum of if Pep grabbed Nueva Chicago, would he make them champions of second division, champions of Argentina? I don't know. We'll see. It's true.
You're wearing the shirt, man.
We'll see. We'll see if Kompany grabbing a Burnley, doing impossible things at Burnley is impossible.
Yeah. They don't give enough respect to getting your club out of the championship, man.
Let's see if he can do it with Bayern.
Let's see if he can do it with Bayern.
And a
I
cold,
love it.
rainy
Guys,
night
look at
in
this.
Munich.
A almost 23-minute A block.
Wow.
Woo! That's how you do it Friday. Friday.
Yeah.
Let's do Friday.
Our control room is not a clutter.
We got to get predictions real quick for this one before we go.
Bayern Munich 4-2.
Okay.
I say Leverkusen 3-2.
Okay.
2-2.
I think Bayern are going to get this one 3-2.